I'm doing a phone live. Oh, someone just sent me a nice comment. Let's have a look. I'm doing a phone live in Southwest UK. The channel is called Defending Elvis. I've got a small little phone, and I thought I'd play a few videos and read a few comments. Now let's just see if this phone's going to work, because this phone is falling apart. My name's Louis, I'm 57. I've been a lifelong Elvis fan for 50 years, over 50 years. And the whole point of this channel is we are defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. So let's see if we get a few comments up, because I do like to make sure that we're having comments. Now, I was thinking we could try and play some clips and then respond to the clips. Now, I was watching a pretty good documentary the other day called Elvis Presley, The Presleys. I just wondered if Elvis and the Presleys it could have been called. I thought we could play a bit of that. But the other thing I was thinking we could do. Hi Yvette, how you going? I'm on the phone, so it's a phone live, even though I'm sat down. I thought what we could do... Oh look, I've just seen myself. So it's obviously posting to you guys. Isn't that funny? I'm posting to myself. So I wanted to just see if I can play a few videos of people talking about when they met Elvis, how much they loved it. I want to just try one first. Celebrities, yeah? And let's just see if it works. I want to see how loud this phone gets. Let's just see. Let's see what we're going to find, guys.
Male singer that was equally loved by boys and girls. I mean...
Right, let's go. Are we ready?
About Elvis Presley.
You did?
Yes.
I loved Elvis Presley. When I was a boy, people used to think I looked like him. I had a big Elvis hair, you know. I did, seriously. I loved him.
Well, NBC.
There were two icons in the 50s that made all the difference in our lives. There was Elvis Presley and James Dean. And they had a profound effect on our culture. And they still do. It's amazing, isn't it? You didn't think I wanted to talk about it, did you?
Well, basically, NBC is going to be airing Loving You. You know, a classic Elvis Presley
Is that right?
And we just wanted to get reactions on the impact Elvis had in your life, and you know,
it was overwhelming, you know, because Elvis was the first male singer that was equally loved by boys and girls. I mean, I'm going back to the 50s, you know, when I was growing up as a teenager in Ohio, and we took our music very serious, and when we spent a nickel to hear a song, you know, in a jukebox at a restaurant or a club, why, it was big, you know, and there was no hesitation with Elvis. For boys and girls, you know, very often the boys would prefer a girl singer, Patti Page, or any one of those that were popular at the time. And the girls would always go for Perry Como and Frank Sinatra and all, until Elvis came, and Elvis kind of brought us together. There was no hesitation with playing Elvis's stuff on either side, boys and girls. He was unbelievable. He was revolutionary, you know. I mean, he just changed the way we listened, and had a profound effect on all of us, culturally and musically and emotionally and spiritually, everything. Yeah. Still miss him, man. You know, it's hard to believe he's gone, because there's so much still reflective of it, you know.
Absolutely. Now, he was definitely one of the first rock and roll stars to cross over into doing movies. Yeah.
Yes, he was, yeah. Well, at that time, though, they used to do a lot of rock and roll movies, per se. They would film concerts and then film a story around the concerts. That fellow from Cleveland who invented the term rock and roll, I forget his name. Tell me his name straight away. Anybody know who that was? Who invented rock and roll, the term? You know, from Cleveland. He founded
Alan Freed.
Alan Freed would organize these concerts, and they would be filmed in black and white at the time, of course. But you'd see Little Richard and, Fats Domino and so many of the groups as well. Although Elvis never did any of those, but they were very popular. And they were not, A movies, but they were very important to us, and we'd stay and see them 2 and 3 times in one showing,
So I love Charlie Sheen, and you can tell Charlie Sheen absolutely adored Elvis, and obviously he was a massive role model for Charlie Sheen. And when he was young, very handsome and looked similar to Elvis, especially the hair. Charlie Sheen was a very, very handsome man, and I completely see how he related to Elvis and James Dean. So I'm going to try and pick some other people, guys. So at the moment, we just have Yvette. Can anyone else make themselves known that is watching? We're in Southwest UK, and the purpose of our channel is we are defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth, and the whole point of the channel is that we are trying to enlist new subscribers so that we can defend Elvis against all the lies and rubbish that is being said about him around the world. So we have Finola. Hi, Finola. I thought today I'm going to play lots of little interviews of people that met Elvis and talking about him. He sure did, Gio. I'm gonna do an unusual one if it comes up. Neil Diamond. Let's try, see if it comes up. He has a little story. Let's see if I can find it. We're doing it as we go, guys. Jake Jimenez is here. Hi, Maria. Let's have a look. Right, there's 2 from Neil Diamond. Let's just play. I might play them both.
At one stage in your life, you lived next door to Elvis Presley, and did your kids sort of play with Lisa Marie?
They never did play with each other, but we did live back to back. Our houses were back to back, and we had a running joke where if people would come to my house, I would send them to Elvis's house, and he would send people looking for him to my house. And, yeah, the kids, I remember very clearly seeing them in the backyard. There was a big gate between them with barbed wire on the top. And Lisa Marie had her bodyguard, and Jesse had his bodyguard, and they were playing with each other through this fence. It was kind of sad. But they've both grown up, and I know Jesse. I haven't seen Lisa Marie since she was a little girl, but Jesse's wonderful. He's a great kid. He somehow survived all the insanity here in Hollywood. And
luckily he wasn't a girl, or he might have married Michael Jackson.
Okay, that's one. Let's see what the other one says.
I know Elvis covered Sweet Caroline on stage. Did you ever get the chance to see him perform it?
I never saw Elvis perform Sweet Caroline, although I did see him perform in Vegas.
See if we can go this way.
I went down there and he was performing live. I'd never seen him before, and he was Elvis Presley, and I was awed. He was an amazing live performer. He was electric, and he was wonderful, and. Halfway through his show, he introduced me. I was in the audience, and he introduced me. And, it's like worshiping a god, and that god is saying, oh, stand up. I like this person in the world. Why don't you meet him? And my God. And, so I stood up, and then the audience started to cheer, and they started to say, get up on stage and, sing together, No, I couldn't possibly. And he saw I was uncomfortable. Then he said, well, he's on holiday now, so leave him alone, let him enjoy the show. And they did.
Does a part of you regret that you didn't take that opportunity to hop up and sing with Elvis?
I've thought about it over the years, and what would I do? What songs would we do? And it's not a good idea to come up and sing with another performer when it's their show and it's their band. I do know that. And I'm glad I didn't, because I don't think it would have been a good idea to touch that, the hem of the god. He was amazing. He was warm and very generous to me, and I think it's best left at that.
Great interview. Great interview. Right, so in case you've just joined us, the name of this channel is Defending Elvis Presley. Fans Want the Truth. And we just want you to subscribe so you can join in with us and Team Elvis. We have a group on here called Team Elvis. And hi Nadia, I did message you. We're doing as many interviews as we can find of people that are praising Elvis that are celebrities. So we've done Neil Diamond, we've done Charlie Sheen. So I'm now going to try James Brown. Let's have a look. Luckily, I've done a lot of videos on these, so I actually know quite a few of them. I'm in Southwest UK, guys, near Bristol. We are avid Elvis fans. Right, are we ready? Let's get it going. Come on, turn. Let's get it as loud as we can so you can hear it.
Well, soul has no color, has no barrier. But I also had a lot of good people that brought out a lot. I want to pay a tribute to a good friend of mine, Brother Elvis Presley, who opened up a lot of doors for me to get through. Elvis was a pioneer, and he came out 1 year before I did. He was out in 55, Heartbreak Hotel. And then I come in 56. And Elvis and I were very good friends up until the last minute of his body alive. But he'll always live because of the fact he was such a beautiful man. I don't care what nobody say. I know Elvis. You know, there are a lot of rumors. Elvis and I sang spiritual together. And he'd buy any movie that I make, any film, he'd buy the film and close the theater up and show it. I love Elvis for being a man. I love what he done for the people and the chance he gave me. He kept me from being number one. I was number one soul and he was number one world, and it took a long time, but it's almost like the two rental cars. It made me try harder, and I love Elvis for it, and we'll always pray for Elvis.
That's lovely. And he, as far as I know, at the funeral, he couldn't stop crying, just lost control of himself, and him and Elvis were good friends. Yes, CKC, you're right, it's Martin Sheen, not Charlie. Right, let's we're gonna do one for Nadia. Let's have it. So Tom Jones talks Elvis. Let's find it. There's probably a few on there. Tom Jones talking about Elvis. Right, let me have a look here. I want to get one that isn't too recent, otherwise we don't want to get copyrighted, do we? Let's try this one. Let's see if this one's going to work.
And Presley came over to you once and said, "How do you sing like that?"
Yeah, when I first met him. You know, I met him in 1965, the first year that I came into the business. Yeah. He was coming towards me. I was at Paramount Studios. I had gone there to talk about a song for a movie, and they said, "Elvis is here today, and he'd like to say hello." Well, I didn't know that he knew that I existed. And I had a ballad out called "With These Hands." Yeah. And Elvis was walking towards me singing, with this, you know, he used to do this. Yeah. And I thought, if the boys back home could see me now, because when I used to sing in pubs and clubs in Wales, right, yeah, and I used to sing a lot of Elvis Presley songs, you know, and I said, I'll meet Elvis one day. You know, and fellas used to say,
to the guys
Tom,
around.
yeah, Tom, you know, we love you and everything, but please, you know. And I said, I'm telling you, I will meet. And so when I was shaking his hand, you know, all these guys' faces were flashing in front of me. It was tremendous. Yeah. And we were friends from 1965 up until about 2 years before he died, because then he started pushing everybody away from him.
Let's keep going. I'm going to do another Tom Jones one, but
I met him first of all in 1965 when I first went to America with "It's Not Unusual." Well, I had "It's Not Unusual," "What's New Pussycat," and a ballad called "With These Hands," all in 1965, and I had one album. And I went to Hollywood I went to Paramount Studios to talk about a song for a movie, and they said Elvis Presley is filming here today, and he knows you're here and he'd like to meet you, which I was knocked out. I mean, it was my first year, you know, in show business. So anybody that grew up in the 50s, you know, there was a teenager in the 50s, Elvis was the king. So to actually meet him was a dream come true, you know, in those days. So I met him at Paramount, and he was filming, and he stopped filming at this one point, and he was walking towards me, and he was singing the song that I had out at the time, which was called "With These Hands," and Elvis was singing my song, you know, and he was walking towards me, and I thought, this is a dream, you know, this is like a movie. And so he came up to me and he said, "How the hell do you sing like that?" And I said, "Well," I said, "you're partly to blame, you know, because I've listened to you. He influenced me a great deal." And I said, "You know, you've rubbed off on me." And he said, "Yeah, well, you know," he said, "thank you, and I'm pleased." But he said, I come from the South. You know, he said, "I was brought up listening to black music, you know, rhythm and blues music with these great black singers in the South. But where did you get it from? You know, what is Wales? Where is Wales? What's happening there, you know?" And I said, "Well, there's a lot of singers in Wales, but they're mostly Welsh traditional singers. And I was influenced by American rock and roll music, you know, and even before that, rhythm and blues and, you know, American pop." So I said it rubbed off on me, listening to the BBC, you know, and that's the only outlet we had in those days for music, you know. And I said, and that's why. So he was astonished. He said, "When I first heard What's New Pussycat," he said, "I thought it was a black guy singing." When the Green Green Grass of Home came out, he was driving, because he used to like to drive his own bus from Los Angeles to Memphis. Anytime he'd have off, he'd get all his lads together, you know, after he finished a movie, and they would get in this touring bus, and he would drive. He loved to drive, and he was driving back to Memphis, and he heard the Green Green Grass of Home. So he called this DJ, a friend of his in Memphis, and once he got within earshot of this radio station, he said, "I want you to play the Green Green Grass of Home continuously until I get there." So it was great. So it was, you know, to have Elvis Presley promoting you, you know, as your promotion man, you know, it was unbelievable. So, and he said it made him cry. You know, it got to him, and then he recorded it himself afterwards. Well, when I...
Just a great story. Absolutely great story. So, in case you're joining us now, we've got Team Elvis answering any questions you have. And the whole point of this live stream is to build up some subscribers onto our channel. We want to defend Elvis. We're defending him against all the negative things that are being said about him. Hi, Linda. Hi, KK, Finola, Teresa, Nadia. We're here together as Team Elvis to disagree with people when they say negative things about Elvis, to disagree with anything that has been said about Elvis that we feel is untrue. That includes from people like the Memphis Mafia, from Priscilla. We just are gonna get his back because we feel that if we don't defend him, that he can't defend himself. So, you know, the Elvis fans, we've got Elvis's back, and we're there to build up some subscribers and members, so together we can build up this channel and defend Elvis. The name of our channel is Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. It's that simple. Right, so anyway, let's, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to do one of my favourites. So I'm playing clips of celebrities that have spoken about Elvis, that obviously have met him as well and shared their lives with him, even though it was probably quite brief. So I'm going to put one on. I'll give you a clue. Can any of you guess if I say Mr. Bojangles? Mr. Bojangles. Who knows it? New man, Mojangles. Let's have a look. Sorry, blah, 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 blah. Come on, what's Mr. Bojangles? Let's see if I can find the video. You got it, guys. Thanks a lot. One of my favourite singers of all time. Mr. Bojangles is one of my favourite songs of all time, and such a gifted man.
It ain't my business what he did. Only thing I want to know, was he my friend? Did I enjoy him as a performer? Did he give the world of entertainment something? Yes, on all counts. And that's the name of that tune. You understand what I mean? Good. Because without the jazz don't matter.
Brilliant. Let's see if I can... I actually did some videos of Mr. Bojangles and Sammy Davis Jr. I'm not sure if it will come up. Let's have a look. Let's just see if anything comes up. Here we are. Yes, there is one, but it's Tom Jones and Sammy Davis Jr. I'm going to play it and just see what happens.
Sammy Davis Jr. gets this so right. Elvis just loved to perform. He was in his element when he performed. He was on fire. It was like lightning striking. And it came completely natural to him. And it was what he was born to do. Let's listen to Marty Lacker talking about Elvis Presley's Las Vegas comeback.
Before he could sing the first song, the audience got up and gave him a standing ovation for at least 10 minutes. Like, hey man, welcome back.
If you do something in Las Vegas, if something happens on stage in Las Vegas, the media picks up on it. As if you're on the road somewhere and something happens, you know, if you split your pants or you forget words or you fall down or, you know, something happens. A lot of the times it's missed. But in Vegas, it's picked up on.
So I made that about a year ago. Let's keep going. So obviously, I don't know if you guys know, obviously I do live streams now, defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. But for the first few years of my channel, I was making thousands of Elvis clips covering many, many different subjects, not ever knowing that we would become defending Elvis Presley. So I'll just play a few more. Now here's one that was accusing Elvis of being racist. Now Nadia, it has strong views about this. I'm going to play it. I haven't listened to it for about a year, so let's just play it and see what comes up.
Only thing I want to know, was he my friend? Did I enjoy him as a performer? Did he give the world of entertainment something? Yes, on all counts. And that's the name of that tune. You understand what I mean? Good. Because without the jazz don't matter.
Recently, a young fella joined the Louisiana Hayride down in Shreveport, Louisiana.
One of the things that comes up every now and then is that Elvis Presley was a racist. Now this is so far from the truth. Elvis was heavily influenced by rhythm and blues and gospel. Elvis came from very humble beginnings and mixed with many people that were not white. And as a child, hung out around the Shake Rag areas near Tupelo and listened to these amazing singers.
I'm still learning, guys, when I did that. I don't know if I get all my facts right. Hi, Jane. Right, are we ready? Gio, you might like this one. Let's have a look. I think, did I play this one?
Really missed.
Yeah, let's try it.
On stage. Here's Tom Jones and Sammy Davis Jr.
Elvis came to see me in the Flamingo in '68. He said at that time that he wanted to come back on stage because that's all he felt, that he was an entertainer, a live entertainer. And that was the most important thing to him. And it's the same thing to me.
He said, but when I get on the stage, he said, that's my world. I said, tell me about it. I said, that's what makes me exist. No matter what the problems are before you go on stage, when you get on that stage, and that's what he had. Call it charisma, call it point of view, call it whatever you will, but he had that. And you could see him when he was on that stage working.
And everybody's doing this and being afraid that someone's going to come on the stage and the security and everything else. He was out there just doing his thing and making them and having fun with whoever's sitting ringside. That was his thing, have fun, you know.
It's funny because I remember making these videos. They would take 3-4 hours a day each one, and I really used to concentrate on them and put as much effort as I could into them, with lots of short pictures, videos, clips, some narrative. Some of them I spoke in, some of them I didn't. So Teresa has just said, do something with Ann-Margret, so I'm going to try. Hi CKC Design. Right. Let's just see if any Ann-Margret ones come up. We're just seeing how things unfold, guys. Now, I definitely have done videos on Ann-Margret. Let's see if any of my ones come up. So all I'm typing in is Ann-Margret talks about Elvis. That's all I'm typing in, and I'm just seeing what pops up. Let's have a look.
We remain close friends after.
Yeah, so one of mine have come up. It's funny because I've forgotten. I have literally forgotten making these videos. So it's been over a year.
We remain close friends after that, and I cherish the memory of that friendship. He was a good man. He was kind, very respectful.
I love this tiny little clip with Ann-Margret talking about Elvis Presley, but she just looks so sincere and so genuine. She truly did love Elvis Presley. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.
We remain close friends after that, and I cherish the memory of that friendship. He was a good man. He was kind, very respectful.
I love this tiny little clip.
Love it. Yeah, we may have some technical difficulties. Nadia, don't let it bother you, mate. We are at the other side of the world. Let's see what else we can find. Ann-Margret. Right, special friendship with Ann-Margret. How he trusted her. I think I made this about a year ago as well. Are you ready, guys?
We saw each other for about a year, and
You saw in each other something deep inside that you both had. And it's almost now as if you were trying to protect that.
oh yes.
What is it?
It was extremely special. It was very strong. Our relationship was very strong and very serious and very real. And he trusted me. And I do not want to betray his trust even in death.
What would be betraying his trust?
I knew him very, very well.
So if you pointed out weaknesses that you knew that would, because all of us have them, and if we have a love relationship, then we certainly know about them. If you do that, it would be a betrayal of him to tell the truth about whether it's about the best of him.
There's been so much written that has been negative about him. I wanted to celebrate his life, the man that I knew. He was so gifted. We saw each other for about a year.
Brilliant. I actually like that. That's one of my favourite guys. Didn't do well, Louis. That was pretty good. Right, let's keep going. Right. Do you have any, guys, whilst you're watching? I played that for Teresa. Yeah, Maria, she's lovely. Hi, hi, Carolyn. Now, do any of you have any suggestions? I'm going to keep thinking of different people. Let's have a look. Who else do you know that met him, guys? Let's have a look. Oh, look, I'm going to shock you. How Priscilla met Elvis. Are you ready?
Presley was in the army that you two first met. Could you tell me how that happened and where it was and what the circumstances were?
Gee, it was, a month after I arrived in Wiesbaden, Germany. I was sitting in a snack bar. It wasn't really a snack bar. It was just a place where a lot of the people would used to go and have hamburgers and Cokes or whatever. Mm-hmm. And a gentleman came up to me and asked if I'd like to meet Elvis. And I thought he was kidding and said, sure, yeah. All right, now what? And he says, no, I'm really serious. I go to his house a lot. And would you like to go? And I said, I still didn't believe him. And then it was another day that I was there, and he was also there. He said, I'm serious. I told him about you, and he'd like to meet you. It sounds very, offbeat, but that's exactly how it happened. And then I asked my parents. My parents were very leery. Didn't think, had really checked him out to see if it was okay. And I went, and from that moment on, we started seeing each other.
Well, that isn't true. He was just friends with her. Now, she has given us the impression for the last 40 odd years that they were seeing each other, but they were not seeing each other until she nearly turned 18. She was 14 when she met him, so that to me is not correct. Right, let's keep going. Here we are. We've got one of his leading ladies. Please, I'm going to do this as a competition, guys. Who is this leading lady? It's a competition. Are you ready?
He cast me in the first movie I did with Elvis Presley as his leading lady, and it was called Girl Happy in 1964.
Was it like to work with Elvis Presley?
It was an extraordinary experience. I liked him, and I liked a lot of his records. It was a nice Elvis Presley movie, but it was one of his better ones, I have to say. It's the first day of shooting. I'm on the set. Best way I can describe it is something was happening, and I didn't know what it was. Everybody kind of stopped, and I looked over, and from that end of the soundstage, it was Elvis, and he was walking in. He wasn't doing anything. He was walking in. The presence that this man had, you couldn't talk, nobody did anything. You just sort of stopped and watched him. And I remember thinking, oh my God, it's Elvis Presley. This man was just he was beautiful, and but just a charisma that was just amazing. He cast me in...
Shelley for bars, you got it. A few of you got that. I just want to say, guys, don't forget, we're here to build up subscribers. So please subscribe to this channel. The point of this channel is defending Elvis Presley, because we disagree with many, many things that have been said about him for over 40 years. So please, guys, if you want to join us, join Team Elvis. Remember, Team Elvis. Team Elvis is here to answer your questions no matter what you've got. And most of the people on here now are subscribers and members. But if anyone new joins the channel, we're going to help answer some of your questions. Hi, James. That's right. Shelley for bars. Hope you're well. How's James, okay? James, how are we going with the bench pressing, my friend? Right, let's do a Paul McCartney one.
Did the Beatles and Elvis ever meet? Yeah, we did. He was in Hollywood, and he was renting a house while he was doing movies. And we had wanted to meet him for years. We were like massive fans of Elvis. And we went to this house, the four of us all together. It was amazing. I mean, it was just like a dream, really, meeting Elvis. We'd fantasized about him since we were kind of young teenagers. And here he was in the flesh. And I think the most amazing thing, besides actually just meeting him, was he had the first remote television channel changer that we'd ever seen, because it was that year when they came out, and he was just aiming it at the TV, and the channels were changing. We go, whoa, he is indeed the mighty God. We can turn the channels without approaching this television set. So we were very impressed by that. Did the Beatles and Elvis ever meet? Yeah, we did. He was in Hollywood, and he was renting a house while he was doing movies.
Next one. Let's have a look. I'm just seeing what comes up. I find that fascinating. Paul McCartney talking about how they met Elvis and them talking about the remote control. Because remote controls were unheard of, and Elvis probably had the first one. Should we... there's an interview here that shows George Harrison. I think we'll play some of it because it's very long. I mean, I love the Beatles, guys.
We forgot where we were going. It didn't really matter where we were going. Bel Air, actually. House. We forgot where we were going. We were in this Cadillac limousine. And you know what it's like in LA, everything goes round and round and round and round, and then I think we're going along Mulholland.
Ooh, it's the hippie that's happening all over our town. I'm gathering up some chicks with a message that he lays down.
Oh, we had a couple of cups of tea in the back of the car. And by the time we got to Elvis's house, we forgot where we were going. It didn't really matter where we were going.
Bel Air, actually. And, this meet was arranged. We were going to go and see him. I was pretty excited about it all. And we arrived.
We pulled up and there was these big gates and somebody said, oh yeah, we're going to see Elvis. And then we all fell out, just like... They all fell out the car, all in hysterics, trying to pretend we weren't silly. And then we went in the house, and there's Elvis sitting on a couch playing a Fender bass, plugged in an amplifier, watching the TV. And I said, oh, it's Elvis.
I mean, it was Elvis. He just looked like Elvis. He was the king, wasn't he? It was Elvis.
This is Mr. Hips, you know.
Hip swiveling man.
Wow, that's Elvis. And he was playing Mohair Sam all evening. He had it on a jukebox. He just played it like endlessly. That was like the record of the moment for him. So it was great to see, he's a music fan. He's not just, because that was one of our big records at the moment too.
He had a TV going all the time, which is what I do anyway. And in front of the TV, he had a massive big bass amplifier, Fender bass amplifier, or just a Fender amplifier. And it was a bass with a bass plugged in it. And he's playing bass all the time with the picture off on the TV. So we just got in there and played with him, we all plugged in what was ever around, and we all played and sang.
I never jammed with Elvis at all.
No. John said he jammed with Elvis.
Yeah, he must have been
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to end it. But let me just pause that a minute. But I'm definitely coming back to do a part 2. I'll do it. I probably will do it as a wide, and we are going to play a load more videos of people that met Elvis. I'm a massive fan of the Beatles, a massive fan. But my wife wants me to go shopping. It's a bit sunny, so I think I'm gonna zip off, meet her. So thanks, guys. Thanks, Team Elvis. We're going to do it all again, but I'll spend more time, and I think I can find a lot of celebrity interviews talking about Elvis, and we'll play some really good clips a bit later on. So please subscribe, guys. Please subscribe. Join our movement to defend Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. The name of this channel is Defend Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. Please join in. Please subscribe. Please be a member. We love your company. Join our family of Team Elvis and defend Elvis with us. Thanks, guys. I'm out of here. I'll let you just quickly have a few comments before we go. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining in.